Today you have me and just me alone. So, party of me. Welcome back to the Born Reddy Podcast. I'm Anthony Reddy, and it's been quite a ride in the last couple months. So, let's start from the top. The last solo pod that I did, I was in Ireland about a week away from moving back to California with my dad. And fast forward, it's been 2 months already. If you didn't already, please check out the last episode I did with my buddy Dylan Reese, who we're actually going to see tonight in Sacramento. He's kicking off his tour with his buddy Adam, and they'll be hitting in the West Coast. But check out that episode. Episode 17 was our St. Patrick's Day episode, and it was a lot of fun. What I don't realize when you kind of interview your friends, you get to learn a little you get to learn a little bit of information that you probably wouldn't know or would ask, which is nice. I learned a little bit about his kind of start in his music career, and we got to talk about it a lot in the episode. I don't know. I just feel like it was definitely under par of how many people tuned in for that one. Maybe because people just got a lot of shit going on. Maybe it's retrograde and whatever it is. But if you haven't already, please check out the episode. And I guess it's a perfect time for me to say, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Please follow Anthony Bay Reddy. Please follow Born Reddy on Instagram. And then also Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, iHeartRadio. We're everywhere. Anywhere you get your podcasts, please, if you can, please subscribe. It means a lot. If it's Spotify, please put a star, make a review if you can. It takes 2 seconds. You can even tell me how bad it is or what I need to improve. And actually, that would be really helpful for me. So, hey, look, it's been a while for me to do this. And I think it's because I kept thinking, I'll do it when I have more time. I'll do it when I have the space for it. And as you can tell, I'm in a room, my buddy's room. We're staying with him in California as we are looking to get my dad more settled, look for a place that he likes. So we'll get into that. But my point being is that I kept putting this off, this episode. And it's because things keep coming up. A lot of things out of my control, actually. And I kept saying, I'll add it to the episode, or I'll find time in between times to do this. But I'm going to make it more of a priority just to keep showing up, even though I don't have a lot of time and even though I'm not ready or prepared. And today I decided to be more authentic and be more myself. So what does that mean? I have no notes, no script. Everything's off top. And but I think there's a lot of fun things that I get to share with you about this last couple months, and then also some new big news. It makes me feel better if I sing it when I think I am saying something kind of corny or dumb, stupid, fumbling. Why do we do that? Why do we want to be perfect every time? It's so boring. Let's start from the top. But can I take a sip of my you know what? Dutch Bros, man. It's a kind of coffee that I wouldn't drink often, but because it's so close by and I've kind of grown to, I don't know, have fun. I've been having more fun with my coffee. Let me take a sip. What I mean is, I usually just drink it black with cream. I'll have it pour over in the morning, add a little half and half. Perfect. I love that. And sometimes I'll just even drink it black. When I go out, I like iced lattes. But recently, my dad and I just been going to Dutch Bros and getting the freeze, like the blended. And I've been getting like little fun flavors like the Annihilator, the Kicker, the Kokomo. Yeah, I don't know which one the Irish cream is, but here's the thing. If you go there and you ask for a quarter sweet, it's still going to be sweet. I'm like, can you make it like, I don't know, 5% sweet? Like, not a lot. And I can't. But honestly, every time I get it, I'm like, it's fine. It's their fault. It's not mine. I asked. I tried. Anyway, shout out to Dutch Bros. I don't know if you had a head-to-head competition between both, which one would be better? Starbucks, Dutch Bros. They're both kind of coffee like, I mean, they're like fast food coffee. Like, to go. I need it quick. I need my fix. Um, but I like the branding, and I like the fact that Dutch Bros is more of a California, Northern California. Is it in other states? Maybe it is. I think it is. Actually, it is. It's in. It's definitely in Las Vegas. Anyways, I like them because they're just fun. I like the story behind how I got started. I'm rambling on. I digress. That's something that Devin Thomas would tell me. Okay, so from the top, immediately, okay, immediately as we land, my dad and I flew back from Ireland. And by the way, just moving, whether you're just going to the next town, next block, whatever, it's a lot of work. Okay, moving to another country, I can't tell you how much preparation needs to happen. But even then, there's things that you just can't even predict that what's going to happen. That's going to happen. And that's kind of the tale of the story. There was so much to do in such little time. And the funny thing is, in Ireland, when you sell a house, it could take up to 6, 8 months. Okay. It's a long process, and they do a deep, deep, deep dive. Okay. Credit, were you married? And if you were married and you are a widow or widower, is there a death certificate? They need the actual death certificate. And you can imagine, like, just all the documents, all the preparation, all the waiting, and all the just resources that had to go into this. It was a long journey. Okay. So we waited 6 months from the time my dad sold. We made it like 5 months from the time my dad sold. Waited 5 months this journey, and we kept being told, like, it's getting closer, it's getting closer. Oh, it's gonna be Thanksgiving. No, it's actually gonna be Christmas. Now it's looking like the New Year, and maybe even longer. And it's like, it's so frustrating, and it's such a unpredictable way of navigating. Like, how what is this gonna happen? And then the transition between coming over from Ireland to here. There's also another transition where my dad and I are in, where we're staying with our buddy, and he has roommates and family, and it's a well-sized, house that I call the Oasis. It has everything you could think of, all the amenities, and yeah, during this transition, it's just been very difficult to move as fast as you want to. I have to be patient. My dad has to be patient. We're going through the process, and there's a lot of things that we didn't think that would happen. I'm not gonna go into all the details, even though that it would be it'd be a lot of fun. I think you would enjoy it. But what I could tell you is that from finances, from the house at the sale, and then transferring over it, and then also running a credit check, or looking for a place even in a nice area. And my dad and I are in the Bay Area, and even just as looking is very expensive to live here. One of the most expensive counties in the country is Santa Clara County. And luckily, we have some really good friends that have been helping us through this. My dad has been so supportive with me, especially with my next step and my next transition, which we'll talk about. But number one priority is making sure that he's comfortable, and I want to make sure that he gets what he wants. So that can take more time than you think. It's not just something you can just pick. Now, I don't know if I shared this before, but a few months back, I visited a psychic in Ireland, and she did tell me that, and this is right before my dad said, "I'm going to move to California. I want to move back." She said, "Your dad's going to move to California, and he's going to find a place." And she said X, Y, and Z. Okay, she even gave me details. And swear to God, X, Y, and Z showed up. Now, that doesn't mean anything really. It's just kind of like, I don't know what to believe. I don't know if it's a coincidence. I don't know if it's fate. I don't know. I don't know how to receive it. But it's crazy that someone said something 4 or 5, 6 months ago, and then it showed up to be correct. If you really want to know what it is, you're going to have to subscribe, and then I'll check, and then you're going to have to comment, and then I will let you know. I promise. It's actually really important. And I'll go back to this kind of story in a minute. But where we're at right now has been 2 months navigating through finances, credit checks, credit reports, looking for places. And then our buddy Mark, who we're staying with, has been super helpful with the whole process. Did we think it'd be 2 months to do this? No, maybe a little quicker, but a lot of it had to be had to take its path. Especially with the banks, you can't just wire money. It's a lot of money, when you sell a house. It's a lot of money to change over from bank to bank. But for international, there's lots of regulations and rules, especially with the European Union, which we had to go through. Can't tell you how many times we had to do this. And yeah, we spent months, the last couple of months, just having these conversations, waking up early, calling Ireland, calling our banks. Even just that alone has been a lot. And then we have to what am I trying to say? Transfer over. Wow. I was trying to say trans over. That's so hilarious. Transfer over the direct deposits, the social securities, get my dad Medicare, the works, and all that's been a process. Even the DMV, like he still has his license and he's 84 next week. Crazy, 84. It's been 84 years. Isn't that what she says? Rose? And I'm telling you, we're not taking any days off. Even though maybe you've seen my social media and having fun, we go down to LA, and there's been a lot in between that I haven't seen. Anyways, why am I saying all this? Because I feel so much pressure that I'm doing so much really quick and really fast to make everything go smooth as possible, and it's been anything but that. And it's like wearing me out and broken me down a lot. Now that's just one thing, and I want to put a lot of weight into that point, because the other things I'm about to tell you is how I'm transitioning to where I'm at now. So as that's happening, I'm also having things that I need to figure out and deal with, which is what does my next step look like? Like where is it and what is it? And I've been in the job market hunting for months, and a couple close calls, a couple final rounds, nothing happened. So I'm trying my best just to get income. But here's the thing. I'm not too good for money. I'll make it any way I possibly can. I interviewed with a grocery store. I won't even say what it is, but I interviewed a grocery store. And one of the things they tell you is like, are you committed? Like, and what if you find something better that pays more? Because you're definitely qualified for it. And you have to lie. You have to be like, yeah, I'm actually don't want to do that anymore. I want to do corporate. I want to do this. And they have to take a risk on you. And it sucks because I've heard this so many times where like you're in a senior level qualification for a marketing job or anything in the marketing world. Why would you want to change that? And why would you not take that type of money? And it's true. But in the meantime, in between times, I'll take anything just to get by. So dealing with that, applications, I'm talking about, I think I did 722 in the last, 3 months, 4 months? And out of that, maybe a dozen callbacks doing interviews. Now, luckily, I have some good ones coming up, so wish me luck. But part of that is just, I'm trying to get by. I'm trying to trade my time in for some income, just like anyone else, trying to get through. With that said, a lot of things has popped up that I had to take care of, and also my dad has been super supportive. My car, my buddy, before he picked us up at the airport, the battery died, so he had to get a new battery. And then when he drove us, I noticed that the blinkers were super off. They were hyper blinking, like that when you put it on. Then I noticed my headlights didn't turn on, or they turn on for a second and then go off. So basically, long story short, I had to fix an electrical issue for my baby. Okay, cost me a couple grand. 2 weeks later, my car overheats and there's a radiator leak, and I have to get that done. That's another couple grand. So just on $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 worth of damage that I had to repair. I wasn't prepared for that. Other things were happening too. Like, I wrote it all down. It was basically like things were just hitting me hard, and I'm like, dude, I cannot catch a break. Like, why? I'm not like depressed about it. I'm just kind of like tackling it as it comes. It's like an obstacle. And I kept thinking like, yes, the obstacle is the way. So I just need to jump over this hurdle, or I need to remove the roadblock. Like, I don't care anymore. Like, it was so hilarious how many things have happened between my dad, myself, the living dynamic, just everything. Something that I was definitely not prepared for. And I just had a good attitude about it. I was just like, this is annoying. I'm complaining about it, but I'm just dealing with it, you know? And then I got to the point where I'm like, I'm kind of done even complaining about it because it's like the same old tune. So here's what I'm going to tell you. That's kind of a big thing, and I don't know why it happened. I don't know what came over me. I didn't plan anything to make this happen. Okay? Here's the real truth. My car overheated down the street coming back from the grocery store with my buddy, with my dad. We finally get it back to the house. We check it, and my buddy is filming this because it's like a lot of, it's a lot of steam coming out the car, and you can see my face just like I fucking had it. Like another fucking thing. I just fixed the car, you know? I just moved my stuff from ex-girlfriend's house to storage. I just drove down to LA to do this. I just got stuff done, figured out for my dad. You know, I mean, you name it. There's just so many things going on that I'm dealing with. And then my car, again, is overheating. So I remember telling my dad I need to go for a walk. So I went for like a small little quick walk just to kind of collect myself. And I was thinking, I have so much in here that I just need to get it out. Now, what I usually do is I go for walks. I'll talk it out. I'll do a little voice note. And that usually gives me like a little bit of information or basically gives me the bones of what the episode could be for next, you know? So I'm talking about it. But what I noticed is this is deeper than like an episode to share. I kind of want to really make something of this, like what's going on. So I was like, let me just journal. And I think you guys remember about this. And this is why it's so surprising for me even to say this out loud. Journaling has never been something that I've enjoyed. It's actually a lot harder for me to write down what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, because the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions are so heavy and they're coming at me fast. I can never catch up to what I'm feeling and thinking. And that's why I kind of changed over to voice memos or just talking it out loud and saving them because I'm able to keep up. But even then, it's still heavier. It's still faster. So I went upstairs to this little small pocket room that looks like an office. It looks like a tiny office, like in a hallway. And I sat by my computer and I was just writing. And what I was writing was mostly like bullet points. I couldn't tell what I was writing exactly. I was just kind of writing emotions and feelings and then kind of making fun of it, like my humor. And what I've noticed is that they kind of look like lyrics. I was like, okay, how would I rhyme? How would I make this into a rhyme, or what could I make this into a melody? And I remember a phrase that my dad always uses, and I've never heard anyone else use this. So my dad is always saying alive and kicking. People are like, hey, how's it going? What you up to? And he goes, just alive and kicking. And I always thought like dad's like, you're a dweeb. You're a dork, dude. Who says that? And then one day I did ask him, I'm like, why do you say that? Where did it even come from? I never even heard anyone say alive and kicking. He's like, at the end of the day, just lucky to be alive and moving and grooving. And he's like, I've always liked it. I don't know. He's like, I've adopted it somewhere. So maybe it's an Irish thing. I don't know, but I never heard anyone else say alive and kicking. So I thought maybe that's the point of what's happening. A lot of things are coming at me. A lot of things are out of my control. I don't want to complain about it. I just want to get through it. And no matter what it is, I'm still grateful and still enjoying this journey that I'm doing. So I wrote my first song with no music in mind. So like I just wrote it down. Okay. I took the lyrics. I did the best I could, as far as what I think. And then I kind of threw it out into, my notes first, organized it. And then I basically asked chat to say, hey, I'm going through this tough time. There's all the things that are happening to me. But the meaning of the story is basically like, at the end of the day, I'm still in a good place. I'm still alive and kicking. Like everything's all good, And, chat being chat, it's like, oh my God, this is brilliant. This is not even something that you would think that you could do, Anthony. And this is like, it just basically just hypes you up. It's the biggest, like, what is the word I'm looking for? Hype man. Fuck's sake, dude. I can't tell you how much I fucking hate it, dude, when I can't find the right word at the right time. I'm going to take a sip. It bothers me so much because it's right there. Anyways, chat looked at the lyrics, was like, actually, you have some good bones. You have a great chorus. Like, what kind of song are you thinking? And I'm like, that's a good question. I don't know. It sounds like a country song to me. You know, I've been listening to a lot of country in the last couple of years, and it sounds like something that, I don't know, Morgan Wallen, Bailey Zimmerman, I don't know, something fun. Zach Brown, Kane Brown, I don't know, one of those guys, you know. And I turned into a song, and what I did was I used some of the structure. I downloaded this program called Suno, and if you don't know what Suno is, it's basically an AI generator for music. It can create music itself. It can create with lyrics, and everything in between. And you can literally do anything in Suno that you could do in any other software. However, Suno is your band. Like if I'm the writer and producer, I can have Suno be the band and do whatever I want, any style, everything. It's actually it's incredible, especially for someone who like me who's never done music before. Obviously, I've been around it my whole life and around people who do it and they're professionals and see how they make their music and what tools they use, everything. It's just incredible for people like myself who are just starting out. So it sparked something in me. I wrote a song, I produced it, told Suno how I wanted it. What's nice about Suno, especially the newer version, is that you can actually go in a little deeper into like the stems, which is like each track has its vocals, drums, percussion, guitar, sound effects, you name it, and you can have full control on to change the sound, change the lyrics. It's just absolutely brilliant. Like I absolutely love it, and it sparked something in me. So I created a song called "Alive and Kickin'" based off of my dad and based off the things I was going through. And then I was so locked in and so addicted to this feeling that I was like, you know what? I can't believe I'm just discovering this now. But then I thought about it. I was like, you know what? Has this been inside me all along? Surrounded by people in music and music everywhere I go, and I love music. I mean, I can give you the whole backstory, but music has always been like a medicine for me. But not in the way that other people feel. I feel like I'm just going to pick my buddy Jordan Smith, who I can't wait to interview, and you'll meet him one day. He just absolutely loves live music and music itself, and he's made a career off of it. And I just love the way music, or that feeling looks on him when he hears it or talks about it. He lights up, and music does that for me, but in a different way. But anyways, I had this feeling where I'm like, I found some kind of flow state, some kind of like feeling inside me that was like, you should have been doing this the whole time. How did you not know that you could write? And that's the thing that surprised me is like, I didn't know I could write. I didn't know I could do this. I've written blogs, newsletters, emails for corporate and obviously personal. I've been writing posts, obviously for content and campaigns. So I definitely have the background. And at Wish, I was actually part of the editorial team where we learned copywriting and localization, and basically would have all these different writers, whether authors or work for another company like Netflix, come in and do a guest talk and teach us things and give us resources. And there's something about that time at Wish where I didn't know I was a writer, and I started to develop that I was. And it's different when you have something to write for and write from. And that was kind of motivating. But I also felt like this is not an expression that's coming from me. It's something that I'm writing for them. But anyways, that's kind of the background where I had, and that's the only writing like practice or experience I've had. So to do this and make it, bring it to life was a feeling that I've been waiting for literally my whole life. That rhymed. Cause I said life twice. Yeah. Okay. Wait, what? Okay. I literally spaz out sometimes. My brain is trying. It's so hard to do this sometimes when you're speaking to yourself into a camera, no one here, because then you're having a conversation with yourself for someone else. Does that make sense? Anyways, it just changed my life, and ever since then, and this is about 6 weeks. I have been fully locked in. Every day I've been writing, whether it's the lyrics, whether it's just notes, whether it's I should put a melody to that. Whether it's researching, learning, and every day I'm just more and more excited to do this. And it's weird sharing this with you because I don't even know what it is or how I discovered it. All right, let me back up. So back to my session that I had with Dee, the psychic, back in Ireland. I visited her twice. I think like 2 months apart. And the reason why is because there's so much that she gave me the first time that she did say, there's more to tell you, but let this kind of digest and then come back in a couple months and then I'll tell you the other half. Um, and I remember even when she paused, she's like, sometimes when you do these readings, you don't want to share some of the things that that she sees because it could rock someone. It's not even a negative or bad thing. It could just rock them and really. There's a lot of words just popping in my head. Just it could tear down the foundation that you built your belief on. And she's like, with you're kind of built for resilience, and you built with pain, but you use that to channel it. And so some of the things that I share with you, I know that you can take it the right way. She's like, but the reason why I'm saying all this is because you've actually have a lot of good things coming your way. Like I think the first part of your life has been very challenging. She's like, but you're really figuring it out, and I'm really happy to share this other half with you. And be fortunate that the things that I see for you are great things to come, which was nice. Obviously you want to hear that when you leave something, and also for never having that experience with someone, you're not sure how to feel. You're not sure how to take the information. You're not sure if it's true or how to digest it, like if it is true. Or the way that I look at these sessions is a way of it's a signal, it's a guidance, right? It's someone sharing something that they see or feel in a way that you can't see or feel because they're a gift, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be exactly the way it's said or done. And I also think that you have to keep yourself moving and keep yourself going forward. That way, something does come to play, you know? Now, let me go back. So, the first session, there was a lot of information about my mom crossing over, about my family, about my childhood, about my dad, siblings. A lot of it was family based. And the funny thing is, even my ex girlfriend, I just felt like the first session was for everyone else except for me, which is funny. And the only two things that she told me that was for me was my career. She's like, you've been in a field that lights you up, that you feel like you have control of being creative and expressing yourself, but it's not in the way that you think. She's like, but it's good for you. Like you're developing all the right skills and things, but you're doing it for the wrong person. You keep doing it for these companies and you're not doing it for yourself. She's like, you just need to, she's like, she did say jump. You just need to jump in and do it. She's like, and she's like, you started something to speak up. Like I see you speaking up and sharing your voice. Is there something that you do? And I'm like, I do podcasting. I just started. And this is before I started filming. This is like, I've only done 3 episodes, only audio. And she's like, yeah, okay. Um, Keep doing that. She's like, but also stop just doing audio. You need to show your face. This is where it's really going to grow if you keep at it. She's like, so keep doing that. She's like, but I keep seeing music in your life. She's like, do you do anything with music? And I said, not really. No. I was like, I used to play, piano and drums. I used to play trombone in middle school for jazz band, and yeah, I did a little bit of marching in high school, but I was like, not really. And then later on, I started to play ukulele. She's like, nothing with music, nothing at all. I was like, all my friends do music, like they're singers, artists, managers, songwriters, producers, etc. I'm like, they're all around me, But no, She's like, what about interest? Are you interested in doing any of that? I was like, not really, no. She's like, okay. So she talked about like, she's like, I see music being, your medicine, your muse, It's something about it. She's like, it's not the music itself. It's about how you express yourself. And she's like, that's the real you. Like the podcast is your bread and butter. This is where you speak about it, but the real part of you is music. And I was like, interesting. Okay. I was like, all right, I'll dive deeper. The second thing was about my life partner, which I absolutely hated what she told me. It was so weird because then the way she said things about my life partner, and I'm going a little off topic. I'll go back to the music for a second. Is because the way she described this person was someone that I would probably never be into. And I did talk about it in my other episode, but like it just feel like I'm not aligned with that type of person. I don't understand why. I mean, there was good things about her. Don't get me wrong. And yes, it's a her, not a guy. Just in case you think I'm gonna change teams or something. And she kept saying life partner, whatever, and she's gonna be good for me and all these things, whatever. Okay, so a couple months go by, I go back, and this time I'm able to ask her a couple questions like, okay, let's tackle some of the things that I've looked at and digested. Also, like, how do you channel? Like, how are you getting this information? And she's like, that's a great question. She's like, sometimes it's just visions that I see, and I'm not sure why it comes in. Sometimes it's people crossing over. She's like, a lot of it was from your mom. Like, your mom is able to channel in and tell me, things about your family and how you are. And I go, but what about like you've given me some like future, like, information. Like, how are you able to do that? She's like, that's also a good question. She's like, it's not. She's like, even when I give you a piece of information from the future, she's like, well, time, it doesn't exist where it's at. So like it could be in the past, but she's like, but really it's in the future. And the reason she said that is because like, what was the point she made? Anyways, it doesn't matter. The piece of information that she gets is usually channeled from a source. It could be a person, it could be a place. She's not really sure. She's like, it changes. And so, but most of the stuff that I got is from people in your ancestral, part, history, ancestral, what are they called? It's from your ancestors, basically, and your mom. I was like, okay. I was like, so let's go back to the life partner thing. I was like, I didn't like what you said. I don't like her. I don't like who you described who I'm going to be with. Like, that wouldn't be my like cup of tea. And she's like, that's funny because that's how you're probably going to meet her. She's like, I kind of see it happening for you in a way where like you're not you're not even thinking about it. And she goes, that's the point. She's like, I think you, and this is very true, you've been seeking, companionship your whole life. And you're trying to make it work in every situation that you're in because you feel like you need to prove yourself that you're enough for yourself and you're enough for another person. And that was hard to swallow because that's definitely true. And I never heard it in that way. And I've known, but I've never heard someone say it's my face, it hurts. But she's right. And she's like, in this case, it's not going to be that. And it'll never have to be that. You'll just click. And that's the way most things are supposed to work. She will get you. She'll be good for you. She'll put you in your place, she said, which I kind of liked. And if I'm being honest, and she's like, and you guys might meet in the same type of career path and industry. She's like, there's an opportunity there. So she gave me she laughed about it because she's like, I'm not here to tell you what you like or don't like. So I'm just trying to give you information. So then I said, where's the information come from? She's like, it's actually from your auntie. And she described my auntie exactly who she was, like to the T. And she's like, and your mom. And them two are able to know what that looks like. And it's just information. She's like, and it could change. She's like, your path could change, Because I was like, what if I never leave the house? Like, what if I ever? She's like, well, then nothing will happen. She's like, you have to move. You have to keep doing things for things to happen. That's how it works. So even if I give you a piece of information from the future, it might not happen depending on what you do with it or how you move and groove. Okay, fair enough. Then pretty much the whole other part of the session was her saying, you need to do music. Something about you and music are like a married couple, she said. Like, you guys, she's like, it's the funniest thing. She's like, you've been given opportunities before and then you shied away from it. She's like, and this is very true. And I haven't even said this out loud, but I think I know I'm very capable of doing something, but when you're around people who do it for a living, it can feel intimidating, you know, because they're so fucking great and talented. All my friends, okay, all of them, my close circle that I have, and even the ones who are just a songwriter or manager or just anything, they're like brilliant. You know, I really feel that. And it's so nice to be part of that and see that because it's inspiring for me. But never once did I think that, like, oh, this is what I want to do with my life. Not once. Okay. So I did say to her, no, I never had a feeling that it was calling to me to do music. But there was times where I had interest of like trying something new. Like maybe it was, oh, it's funny. She's like, you used to DJ. I was like, oh my God, no one knows that. No one. I've never even spoke about this. For like a year, I learned to be a DJ. And this is a random story, but I'll tell you. A friend of mine, his brother was in like the radio and music scene. And then he worked for a few nightclubs doing sound and also bookings. And then was telling me like, hey, dude, we dropped out. We dropped this guy. There's a club called Monte Carlo in Sunnyvale, California. I think it's Sunnyvale or Mountain View. I can't remember. And they need a DJ. And I'll teach you. I used to be a DJ. I used to do radio. Like if I teach you, I'll pay you this much amount and you do this. So for a whole summer, and that's what the thing was like, let's do like a trial run. For a whole summer, I was learning to DJ and I was DJing at a nightclub. And I never had any practice. I kind of just did it. And the fucking crazy thing is, when I look back at that part of my life, it's kind of a blur. It's kind of like I didn't even think about what goes into it. I just kind of showed up and did it. Now, obviously, I knew how to mix, how to switch. I wasn't scratching and going behind my back and shit, and having fucking rap battles or anything. But like, I could put a good groove and mix on and make your night fucking awesome. You know what I mean? And the nice thing is that you could do pre-mixes in case you wanted to go to the bathroom. We just put it on, whatever. So I did that for about, maybe 4 or 5 months. And I made some good money, made some cool people. One random story on top of this random story. Gosh, I'm really going off topic, but it's funny. I invited my cousin at the time. He was underage, and he was my assistant. And then we get free drinks. And motherfucker was going to the bar and getting top shelf XO and just drinking the whole night. And at the end of the night, as they're counting out money, they were like, we lost a couple $1,000. Like, who was drinking all the XO? We've measured it. And dude, I remember the bartender looking at me like, you motherfucker, you said like, this was all good. Now we're losing money. So we didn't say anything, but I thought it was the most funniest thing. And bless his soul. He's not long with us, my cousin, but, that memory still lives in me. And I just think about that. And, I mean, typical cousin Chris, to do that. It's funny. But anyways, I DJed for a while. So then we go back to the story with D, and I'm telling her, well, I used to DJ, and she's like, there was something there for you, but you declined, and it's because you chose some kind of relationship over this opportunity. She's like, and you keep doing this. For some reason, she's like, you keep going back to the companionship because it's safer, because you want to do it together and you're afraid to do it something on your own. She's like, not that you're afraid. She's like, you're just more inclined to do it something because it feels more comforting. She's like, I think this is why you keep going through these death and rebirth cycles, and it's so big. These feel big because every one that happens, you keep ignoring it and keep doing it. She's like, I'm here to tell you, you need to fucking stop doing these cycles. And the thing is, you need to work hard at something and put your mind to it, work on yourself, and then that love and happiness will come. She's like, I'm sorry. She's like, but for you, that's what I see. She's like, some people get lucky, some people do it differently. And I think for you, you need to stand on your own 2 feet and do it yourself. And then it will come. She's like, but the good news is I really see this happening for you this time around, and you're going to take it serious. She's like, I just see you in music. She's like, and I see you famous for, and she said the word famous, but she meant like in the same, like in her mind, for writing. She's like, I think you have something about, you have a talent for writing. She's like, your mom wants to tell you that your writing has improved so much that she's very proud, and you really need to practice. She's like, I hope you take this information and just go with it. Like, just try. She's like, so whatever that looks like, music. Now, here's the thing. When I was receiving this information, there's a lot of information coming at me, and she talks really fast. She has like she has kind of an Irish English accent, and it's quick. She's coming at me quick. So to process this at the time about you need to do music was basically like, oh, I need to play ukulele more, or go back to piano and like play. And then the writing part, I didn't know what she meant. I don't know if she meant like publication. I didn't understand. Okay, this is back in like September. Fast forward to end of or mid February. Here I am making music, and I'm just kind of like baffled about how she was able to see that, because she was absolutely right. Music for me, what I'm doing right now, it feels like I'm meant to do this. And I'm afraid to say that to anyone out loud, my dad, friends, anyone, just because I don't know what it is that I'm supposed to do. I just know what I'm doing is like fulfilling in a way that I only get playing sports. Like I always say, sports is my first love. And the reason why is because when you play something like a game, you're in the flow state. You're not thinking about anything else but doing what you're doing. And it's so much fun. Working out's different. I feel like your mind wants to escape when it's like the hard rep. You're doing something and you're like trying to distract yourself or not think about it. You're trying to be, locked in, but your mind's raced. But when you play a game, it's fun, it's challenging, and you're just flowing. So yeah, I'm saying this out loud. I don't know where this is going exactly, but the writing and the producing part is my absolute favorite thing, and I feel like it's a calling for me somehow. So since then, I released 7 different songs. They're very different genres. Each of them have a story that is true, from my experience. I'm writing from my own experience, and I really like the way I don't know, I really like the way that I delivered it. And the funny thing is, I didn't tell anyone. I was doing this. I was just like, I'm just going to write stuff. I'm going to produce it. The first couple songs, I had an AI generated voice, which I do have for all of them. And then some of the songs I was able to, with the new software, you're able to sing yourself, and then they're able to convert your voice into a genre, a voice genre, whatever it fits, which has been really nice because now I'm working about melody and, how I want the lyrics to be, which is a lot of fun for it's progressing the way I want, which is really nice. It's like perfect timing too. Like they just introduced this in Suno. So I have an EP I released. It's very different. I did this on purpose because I wanted to write with different styles to the experience. And I wanted to tell no one about it, and I just wanted to release it, and that's it. And the reason why is because I don't want to be afraid to put out something that I'm proud of, and I am proud of it. I still got a lot of work to do, but I'm really happy the way that it came out. And I think I'm getting better. Like, I'm already better from last month. I already feel it. I already can see it. I've been writing more. And it would really mean a lot to me if you took the time to check it out. The album is based off the first single, like the single that I wanted was called, which is called "Life Was Grand." Can I say that again? Because I cracked my voice. The album is called "Life Was Grand," and that is about, how back in the day when you're a kid, things were the best, and yeah, I really like that one. I think that one fits the vibe perfectly. It's more of like a reggae pop. I have a country pop song, Alive and Kicking. I have like they call it emotional indie, which is really nice. Has a good feel. And I have another one that I can't think of. Why can't I think of it? Oh, I have 2 Irish ballads. Like, not ballads. One's a ballad and one's like an indie alternative rock, I think. Here's the thing about genres. It's so hard to pick one, I just kind of feel what the song's about. Also, the way I'm doing this is that probably backward. I think it's backwards. I'm writing the lyrics first without any sound, any melody. And then as I'm writing the lyrics, I can hear the melody that I kind of like. And so when you're putting the lyrics into Suno and you're teaching it and you also putting the style of genre and what it sounds like, how fast it is, what's the BPM, what's the frequency, what kind of style, everything. You're kind of teaching it as your band to deliver it the same way you want it. And it's obviously getting a lot better at prompt writing, but it's fun because it kind of already exists in me before I hear the sound, which is weird. And I know a lot of people when they talk about doing music, they like come up with the music first and then they're able to like put words to it. I feel the storytelling part of the lyrics is the most important part, at least for me. And that's what I've been doing. I've been practicing writing first. Now, I obviously reference, uh, I also have a reference that I'm using off of like to make sure it flows when I put it into Suno and put it back so that I'm able to change things around. But it's just been so much fun. It's been like the best puzzle that I've ever did or I'm doing, and I'm growing every day. And I just can't tell you how much it would mean to me if you guys listen to it. You can find it anywhere: Apple Music, Spotify, iHeart, Amazon, YouTube. Uh, I go by the artist Bay Reddy, and that's another thing which I'll talk about in a second. I didn't really know what to call myself because I'm not really an artist. I don't think I really want to be an artist. I I think my lane is songwriting and producing. I think that's the two things I really love doing. But I just dropped Anthony and just put Bay Ready just a little shorter, um, because I feel like the Bay part's more my nickname, the creative part where I'm from, and the expression, the Ready, obviously the legacy. And I went back and forth about the name. Like what am I going to call myself? But here's the thing: I try not to think about all those little things that you think about perfection and doing it right. I kind of just made something, felt good about it, and released it. And now it's not up to me anymore. It's up to you. And it would mean a lot, again, like if you listened, but you don't have to. And I'm only going to get better. And I hope this really does open up a different avenue for me because I'm really excited about it. Now, I have lots of friends who are in the industry and doing this, but right now I'm just in a good place where I'm getting the reps in. I'm trying to write as many as I can by myself and do it to know that I can do it before I even express any interest or ask anyone for feedback. Um, and so far the feedback has been like overwhelmingly, surprisingly great, like which is nice. Obviously questions like, are you going to be an artist or are you going to be this? And what about, and how does, and I'm like, I don't even know. I really don't. And I didn't even know how I discovered it. And I'm really glad I did. It took a fucking long time to get there, but I'm just at this place where I'm just enjoying the process and doing it. So I'm building the puzzle. The name part. I recently remembered, well, I remember this happening back in the day, but I recently saw a story about Kobe Bryant. He was going through a slump in his career right after he won a triple P. Shaq left. He got in trouble for he got in trouble, and his endorsements were taken away from him. His marriage was in shambles, like the whole thing. And the story was about him going to his performance coach and asking him to like, hey, I'm losing my edge, he said, and I might need to like change things around. And the performance coach was like, it's not you that's losing the edge. I think you're surrendering these things that were holding you back from becoming something that you're meant to be. And so they came up with the name Black Mamba. And ever since, Black Mamba has been this alter ego that Kobe has used throughout his latter half of the career to be that guy, And as a Warrior fan, watching Kobe, you hate to love him, but you can see him turn it on. And so that name, Bay Reddy, was something that I wasn't sure that I wanted to be known for, but I wanted to be someone simple that can be tied back to, my personal name or my given name. But I came up with a new name for myself, and this new name is kind of the same way that Kobe approached it. Was I need a name for myself to lock it in, like to be consistent, be stable, like be reliable. He gets the job done, something like that. And it's funny because my middle name is named after my granddad, which is James. And something about that name James is just it's solid. You're getting someone who's knows what to do. Gets the job done, locks it in. So ever since I started writing, I have this thing where I say lock it in, James. And something happens in me where I'm able to like flip a switch. And for some reason, when I do that, it unlocks something in me that I'm able to do, which is, channel my like writing ability and producing. And it's been really weird to even say this out loud, but it's like so much fun. And I'm experimenting with this. So I took this James Reddy, to the gym with me, and I've been doing these, like, I do free weights and workout, but I also do these classes, and then I tried it on. I put on James a little bit, and sure enough, I get a different reaction from people because I wanted to see how it would work, So I become this different persona, this alter ego, James. And for me, for some reason, it just works. I'm able to lock it in a way where it's not loud. James is not loud. He's not stealing the spotlight. He's more like he's a highlight, and he's solid. He has it figured out, and he's reliable. He's loyal. And I don't know. It's kind of fun. And I'm wondering, have you guys ever tried that before? Have you ever tried a new persona, a new name, a new character? Have you played that person? Is it performative? And what do you use it for? I'm curious. And this was the bummer part about sharing this information because I'm so curious about what other people do. And have they heard of this before? Have they tried it? So if you've actually tried it and you have any success, or even don't, even if it was the opposite for you, I'm curious. Please reach out to me, or just put in the comments on wherever you're at. It's almost an hour. We should wrap this up. I've talked a lot. So what's next? It's a great question. Still in the transition phase. My dad and I are still looking for a place for him. I'm going to keep writing every day. I have goals set for myself. I've written a few more songs. I've taken those songs and put it into Logic, and now I'm upgrading the sound, which has been a lot of fun because I'm kind of being more of a mix and mastering producer, which is crazy to even say out loud because it's something I just, again, like, I never thought I'd be doing this, but I'm glad I am. It's so much fun. And I think anyone in my friends group or even family would probably be just as surprised, But I'm here to tell you that this is what I want to do. I want to obviously have the podcast, but this is something I want to write more. And 2 episodes ago, before I came to California, I did say for the new year that I've created some goals for myself. I built what is it called? Vision board that I look at every time. And funny enough, one of the squares was like a microphone, a computer, and like music producing. And I thought, whoa, did I even put that before I knew? That's crazy. Because I picked that picture because I thought it was for podcasting, but if you really look at it, the detail, it's music. And so, and what I said in that episode was, I'm going to push myself beyond my boundaries and step into a creative direction that I want to try. I just want to figure out if there's something that I can do. In my mind, it's been writing a script for a movie, which I'm really excited to share with that once it gets more of a foundation and out there. But for now, it's just an idea. But here I am pivoting to a new avenue that I never thought I'd be in. And it's funny because when I said that, I meant it. I'm really going to push myself out, and I'm really going to try new things. And this has given me new life to try those type of things. Even though I'm not ready or qualified, but you won't know until you try. And I'm going to keep trying. So I'll keep you updated on that. So if you haven't already, please check out the album Life Was Grand. The artist is Bay Reddy. You can find it anywhere you listen to music. Again, please subscribe to the Born Reddy Podcast. It would mean a lot to me to grow this. If you really like this episode, I really want to know. Please tell me what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it. And I'm going to keep showing up. And I'm going to try to ramp up the cadence because I only did 1 last month. And because of everything going on, it's been kind of chaotic. So everyone, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I really appreciate it. I'll be back soon. And ready or not, lock it in, James.